It was like there was a design that the opposition does not want the Prime Minister to be heard by the nation. What was really happening inside the Parliament? Is there something which the nation should know about the proceedings in the House? And to discuss and unspool that with us is India's Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Mr. Kiren Rijiju. Welcome to the viewers of Republic. And the nation really wants to know what exactly happened in those 2 days, Rijiju ji, that the opposition would not let the Prime Minister speak.
I think the Congress party and some of its allies have decided that since they have lost the election, people of India has not given them the mandate, they would not listen to the Prime Minister. I had made it very clear from the day one that we want to work together and let the House function as per norms. The Prime Minister is not the Prime Minister of BJP. Modi ji is a BJP leader. But once he has become the Prime Minister of India, he is the leader of the country. You must listen to the Prime Minister of India. It is not that we are making statement for each other. In a way, he is addressing the Parliament and through Parliament to the nation. It is very unfortunate, I think, in the Indian parliamentary history, this is the first time where the opposition party has decided to block the speech of Prime Minister. But we are very categorical. You can't block Prime Minister's speech. If you have to raise objections, if you want to say something, you must do it as per rules. Nobody is above the rule. But if you just want to jump on the well of the House and create ruckus just only to prevent the Prime Minister from speaking, that is not going to happen, because we have been given a mandate to serve the nation, and we can't keep ourselves away from our duty, and we can't let the opposition party put Parliament into ransom. That will not happen.
Did they do it by design, you think?
Absolutely. Otherwise, I had spoken to many of the opposition leaders individually, the Congress leaders, Trinamool, DMK, many other parties. There are even smaller parties also. I had reached out to them. Everybody on their personal capacity said that the House must function because the dignity of the House has to be maintained. But it was primarily because of the stand taken by the Congress party to disrupt the parliamentary proceedings and to prevent Prime Minister from speaking.
Why do you say that? Did you get an indication that the Congress is leading this disruption, or Congress is strategizing to carry out this disruption?
Yes, many MPs during our conversation and meeting, they said they want to run the House. They want the House should function. But
these are from sorry to interrupt, but non-Congress MPs.
Even some of the Congress MPs also want that the House should function normally. I feel sorry for the newly elected MPs, because when we also entered the Parliament for the first time, we used to listen to the seniors. We used to observe the parliamentary proceedings. That is how you learn. For example, I entered the Parliament and observed very closely how Vajpayee ji, Advani ji, Pranab Mukherjee, George Fernandes ji, many senior leaders that time, we used to observe and learn from them. And then later on develop your own style, your own art of speaking. But initially you have to listen to them and learn. Learning is a process. But unfortunately in this session, from the day one, the newly elected MPs could not witness the normal functioning of the Parliament. But somehow, I'm happy that as a Parliamentary Affairs Minister, I'm satisfied that we could finish all the agendas and all the rituals, all the practices. We did not let the opposition party take away the privileges of the members, and finally, the special first session of the 18th Lok Sabha came to an end, and 264th Rajya Sabha session also concluded successfully.
In a way, you are actually confirming, sir, that the Congress party essentially and the opposition generally targeted the Prime Minister's speech. Otherwise, they were sort of letting things happen, right? Is it that it was all targeted at the Prime Minister?
What I feel is, after the Congress party lost the election for the third consecutive time, they could not take the reality into terms. They could not believe themselves that they are out of the power for third term. So their anger against the people of India was directed towards Prime Minister and towards us. I told them, if people have not voted you to power, it is the people's decision. Why are you mad at us? So they had a design, number one, to create a narrative which would suggest that they have won the election and NDA has lost the election. But that narrative did not work. Secondly, they wanted to create a kind of situation in the parliament which will not allow PM and the government to function normally, which they could not. But people of the nation has observed what kind of behavior the Congress party leaders and some of the UPA, now India bloc people, are resorted to, and they degraded the entire system, including themselves, to a very shameful status. It's very unfortunate for our country that opposition parties have coming so low.
So low, but I would still persist because you suggest that you had dialogue with most of the opposition leaders, right? Including Congress party.
Yes.
You said that many of the MPs actually wanted that proceedings should happen properly. Did you ever get a hint from the Congress that no, this is not going to be business as usual?
See, in the beginning when we gave the calendar of the parliament session, Rashtrapati summoned the house. I reached out to all the opposition leaders, especially the leaders of the prominent political parties. They were very happy initially, and I informed the senior leaders about the pro tem speaker issue. I met Khargeji, who is the Congress party president. I called up Suresh Kudekondan, who is an 8th-term MP. I called up Sudip Bandyopadhyayji, who is a senior leader of Trinamool Congress. I met T.R. Baluji, who is the leader of DMK. Similarly, I had spoken to many senior leaders. I told them that Prime Minister has desired that senior leaders from opposition and ruling must come together and give oath to the newly elected MPs through a system which is called pro tem speaker and panel of chairmen, and then the 2 days schedule was there for the oath and affirmation. Initially they were all happy, they agreed. But once they all converged to Delhi, and the next day was to begin the next session of the parliament, they suddenly announced that they will not take part in the oath ceremony in the panel of the speaker. So pro tem speaker is impartial, a political post whose job is very limited. It's only to give oath affirmation and to conduct the speaker's election. That's all. It is not to conduct or pass any business. But unfortunately, they brought politics there also.
You think the government, sorry, but you think the government could have made a tactical adjustment there, given the fact that K. Suresh actually is an 8-term MP and Mr. Mahtab was 7?
No, he is not the senior most consecutive term MP.
Is the word consecutive written in the bylaws or rules?
There is no rule with regards to the appointment of pro tem speaker.
Okay. It's
This
conventional.
pro tem speaker practice has been imported from the father of the house concept in the Westminster in Britain. And there the senior-most consecutive MP is known as the father of the house, who normally administers oath and affirmation to the newly elected member. And then once the tenure is broken, the next senior-most consecutive member becomes the father of the house. So keeping that in view, Bhartrihari Mehta was 7 terms consecutive member of the house, of the Lok Sabha. So that is how he was made the pro tem. And in the past also, in 1956 also, the Congress party appointed not the senior most as the pro tem speaker. Recently, in 2004, when UPA government came to power, they bypassed 3 senior MPs, including George Fernandes, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, and PM Saeed also. So there were many cases where the Congress party had not appointed the senior most MP.
Did you tell them these things?
I told them they are not ready to listen. And they are given some diktats from the top.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, the Congress party, there are many reasonable people in Congress party. But unfortunately, the diktat which are coming from the top are unreasonable, but they are forced to listen to that. So unfortunately.
By the top, are you suggesting the family?
Maybe from Gandhi family or whoever. I don't want to point my fingers at anybody. But when I talk to the Congress MPs, they all want to function Parliament normally, as per the tradition, as per the convention, as per the rules and procedures. But if diktat comes from the top, I don't know why Congress party has to follow it.
So on the issue of the pro tem speaker, so on the issue of a speaker, in fact, we heard those reports that you spoke to every party. You're saying that you did. And even Mr. Rajnath Singh, the senior most minister in the cabinet, he also made an outreach. What was the opposition response to this government outreach? Did they see it as less? What more could have been done?
See, when they have decided not to let the Prime Minister speak, that is a strategy they had devised. Any amount of talk or negotiation futile. We asked them, we appealed to them, you can raise any question during the motion of thanks to the President's address. It is a tradition that after the oath and affirmation, the House, both the houses of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, come together, sit together as a joint session, and Honorable Prime Minister or Honorable President addresses the joint session. And then immediately after that, it is the tradition to move the motion of thanks to the President. Now, you can't do away with that tradition and discuss about some issue. During the discussion, in the motion of thanks to the President, you can raise any important issues you want. There's no restriction. We told the opposition parties that you raise all the issues you want to raise during the discussion and government is ready to respond. They don't listen. They are saying that no, we will not allow Parliament to function.
So it was premeditated.
And then somehow we could begin with the discussion on the motion of thanks. But when Prime Minister was to speak as per the fixed time, they didn't allow Prime Minister to speak freely. They prevented the members and the people from properly listening to the Prime Minister. So people want to hear Prime Minister.
Is it not their democratic right to listen to the Prime Minister?
You have the right to protest, but you have right not to be disturbed also. So those members who are very keen to listen to the Prime Minister have been deprived of the situation. But our Prime Minister is, you all very well know him, he finished his speech most emphatically. He convinced everybody that the opposition party is doing petty politics and the opposition party is misleading the nation by building a false narrative and Prime Minister's speech had demolished the opposition.
The viewers would want to understand, in fact, what's the rule book? Can the opposition be allowed to conduct itself in a manner in which it did, beyond the verbal reprimand that came by way of Speaker asking the opposition MPs to go back to their seats, not let there be pandemonium, etc.? Is there something in the rule book which says that this can't be allowed beyond a point? What's the rule book?
The rule is very clear. Every member of the House has to believe in the Constitution and follow the rules. Now, from the oath is taken within the stipulated that framework.
Right.
You cannot go outside the prescribed format.
Right.
So, during the oath also, many MPs made slogans and uttered unnecessary words and slogans. Now, as per rule, a member has to conduct appropriately as per the prescribed ethical conducts and other rules prescribed in the rule book.
Right.
The Speaker or the Chairman of the House has the power and authority to act against any member on the violation of those rules. The raising of slogans, to some extent, is done in the parliamentary democracy. In Indian Parliament, it happens. Protest is part of the, democratic system. It's okay. But displaying the placards,
Posters.
coming to the way.
Is it allowed to bring posters?
You can't bring posters inside the house. But the Congress party has totally thrown the rule books to the dustbin.
Can something be done about it?
Necessary actions, if desired, the Speaker will take. Speaker had taken strong actions in the past. It may take in the future also.
Would you insist that the Speaker take some action?
We would urge the Speaker to take action whenever any member violates the rules.
The Speaker did name and shame Rahul Gandhi. I mean, and in parliamentary convention, I believe it's a big thing that you are named for his conduct. But the kind of lies that were peddled, we saw the government ministers coming prepared and, as per procedure, intervene, interject and correct. But in a way, Rahul Gandhi was allowed to complete his 90 minutes of his speech. There was no obstructionism from the side of Treasury benches.
We wanted to hear everybody and we wanted to hear the leader of opposition. But he was not actually making a proper speech. Whether it's leader of opposition or members from the Treasury bench, we are to speak on the motion of thanks. You have to speak within that. That is the tradition, and you can add one more, two, that you can't really regulate. But what leader of opposition was doing was making wild allegations and very disturbing comments and remarks. He was displaying the photos of the gods and religious leaders. That's not proper. Prime Minister has very rightly said, all the pictures of the gods and religious heads are for darshan, not for pradarshan. And Rahul Gandhi was shamefully showing the pictures of the gods and the religious leaders for political gain and disrespectfully putting those sacred photos on the table and putting all mungfulis, badams on top of the pictures and really demeaning the value of those God and religious leader pictures. It's very unfortunate. We felt that Rahul Gandhi was not only childish, but he
insulted
totally demeaned his own position.
But Minister, sir, you would know the rule book better than me, but I'm going through one rule of the Lok Sabha Conduct of Business Rules, 352(7), which says a member shall not utter treasonable, seditious and defamatory words while speaking. Now, in a way, what Rahul Gandhi as leader of opposition said about Hinduism being a violent religion, isn't it defamatory? And does it not come in the rule book?
I think That is not only defamatory, but that is extremely damaging and insulting. If you see the words, Sri Rahul Gandhi categorically stated, those who claim themselves to be Hindus are perpetrator of violence. So, it's very, very categorical. Remember those words.
So, I mean, what deductive logic is this? If I say I'm a Hindu, does it make me violent?
Exactly, that is what our question is. Rahul Gandhi said those who claim themselves to be Hindus are violent people. So he has abused the entire Hindu community. See, I am not Hindu. But because of the majority Hindus in this country, India remains a very vibrant, secular, democratic nation. If you abuse Hindus as violent, can people like us survive? I am from a minority community, but I have no problem in not only performing my duty as a citizen, but I could see that every other minorities who face problems surrounding India also take refuge in India whenever there is a problem in the neighboring countries. Hindus are so tolerant and loving people, and to tell the Hindus as violent community is extremely shameful, and I condemn Rahul Gandhi for that.
But anything beyond that?
See, I think Rahul Gandhi is growing old by age, but by behavior and conduct, he is not growing at all. Very sad. Prime Minister is right when he said that Balak ka buddhi, Rahul Gandhi's that mindset, mentality, is very childish. So, Balika buddhi, what is the term Prime Minister used? Balak buddhi. I think that is why people call Rahul Gandhi.
Have you found that when you interact with him?
Personally, I have no problem with Rahul Gandhi or anybody. Why should we have problem? But I got terribly hurt when Prime Minister was not allowed to speak.
So, when Rahul Gandhi's speech happened, 90 minutes, all of 90 minutes, without obstructionism, with legitimate interjection, but without obstructionism, he was allowed to complete the speech. Between his speech and the Prime Minister's speech, which was a day later, did you communicate to the Congress party that, see, this is how we have conducted ourselves, and this is what we expect in return when the Prime Minister speaks?
During the speech, anybody, whether Prime Minister, leader of opposition or any other member, there are interjections, there are retorts, clarifications. It happens in parliamentary democracy. But with an intention to disrupt the entire speech itself, that is wrong. If Rahul Gandhi had used proper words and proper speech, he would have finished his speech on time. He spoke for more than 1 hour, long speech. We only objected when he made wild allegations against the government. But when Honorable Prime Minister was about to speak, they all came down to the well of the house. Rahul Gandhi was literally telling and pulling all the members to go to the well and disturb the Prime Minister. Very unfortunate.
No, but did you communicate to the opposition that when the PM speaks, they shouldn't be obstructing?
We told all the members, we made an ardent appeal to the opposition party that please don't disturb when any member speaks, including Honorable Prime Minister. Let the House function normally and let everybody hear Honorable Prime Minister. But the Congress didn't listen to us. But Prime Minister has made a very strong speech which was full of messages which demolished the false narrative and propaganda launched by the Congress party. I'm very happy for that.
I think and we saw those videos coming out, which clearly showed Rahul Gandhi leading the protests, egging on the opposition MPs to raise their decibel levels so that the Prime Minister is not heard, and in fact asking them to come to the well of the House.
See, can you imagine that Prime Minister telling the MPs to jump to the well? No, you can't imagine. Senior leaders don't do that. Can you even imagine when Atal Bihari Vajpayee, L.K. Advani ji, they were the leaders of opposition? Can you imagine the scene? That Vajpayee ji or Advani ji telling members to go to the well and shout and disturb the Prime Minister? You can't imagine. It is only Sriman Rahul Gandhi ji and the Congress party who could do that. The leader himself is telling people to go and shout. It's terrible in the parliamentary democracy. The leader's behavior itself was so objectionable.
See, you have said, in fact, you came out at a press conference and said that when the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha kept on lying about many things, including facts and figures, a notice was put to the speaker and we have requested the speaker to take appropriate action. We are waiting for that action. By when you think the action can happen?
See, when the notice is put in the table of the House, Speaker takes appropriate action as per rules. We have requested the Honourable Speaker, not only Rahul Gandhi or any particular person, it is for everyone. Anybody who violates the rules must face the rules of the House, otherwise it will be a free for all. You can't run the House like that. India is known for its democratic values and our rich traditions. The Indian parliamentary democracy has become a model for the world. We won't let the opposition party to ruin it just for the sake of their narrow political purpose. We won't let them put the Indian parliament into ransom.
But unfortunately, that might be happening. You're saying that the opposition sort of put Indian democracy to ransom.
They may do it, but we will ensure that India's interests and Indian parliamentary democracy is untouched by the people who want to damage it. We will ensure.
You also said in that press conference, nobody can expect to escape. There is no special privilege for anyone just because he comes from a privileged family.
Yes, absolutely. They don't accept the fact that Modi ji has become Prime Minister for the third time only because Modi ji is from a humble background. Earlier they used to say, no, Rahul Gandhi is international, Modi ji is national. For us, our nation is first. So, Prime Minister has risen from such humble family background and became the Prime Minister of the country and then becoming the most popular elected leader in the world. It's a matter of pride for all of us. It's not only for BJP, Congress, everybody should be happy that our Prime Minister, Indian Prime Minister is becoming an iconic global leader. Why can't the Congress party celebrate India's success?
Do you get a sense that this is happening and might happen going forward over the next few years because the opposition has got more numbers in the last election? Are you getting a sense that the opposition has more numbers, Congress party has more numbers, so they are buoyed up and they are excited and they are thinking that this is how the mandate is, that we should be obstructing?
In politics, there is no second prize. Only one wins. Only one group or one candidate will win. If it's a government, one party or one coalition, both cannot win. So 2024 election result has given a complete mandate to the NDA. So the Indi bloc is not in the government. So if they say that because they got little bit more number, means they can't do away with the legitimacy of the government. We have the legitimate right to serve the nation because we have got the mandate of the people of India. That can't be taken away.
I'm coming to the last section. People would want to know, Mantriji, that did the government make every effort that was needed to make sure that the parliament functions with all decorum? For example, the sloganeering that was happening both in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha for whatever time that the opposition remained before walkout, they were making Manipur a big issue. Did you make an outreach and tell the opposition that yes, Manipur can be discussed. Yes, if need be, you can have a separate debate on Manipur, for example.
Everything was on offer. We told the opposition parties, whatever you want to speak on, whatever subject you want to take up, please raise all those issues during their speech in the motion of thanks to the President of India. They want that the motion of thanks to the President should be suspended.
Did they officially say that?
Yeah, they said. They said that this should be discussed later. Another subject should be taken first. We have no problem. Any important matter should be discussed. But the tradition cannot be, done away with.
So the opposition actually officially suggested that please do away with convention and put aside the debate on motion of thanks and discuss what?
They said that motion of thanks can be discussed later. First, some other matters should be discussed. But we said all matters are important, and whichever matter is more urgent, please raise during the discussion on the motion of thanks to the President, because that is general, where you can raise any issue. We are ready to respond. Government will respond. But they didn't agree. Anyway.
Isn't it not an insult of the President of India?
They have been insulting the President of India, maybe because a first tribal lady has become the President of India. So they are not accepting these historic achievements. Insulting the President of India is not only insult to the tribals of this country, but it is an insult to the entire country. Congress party has on numerous occasions insulted the President. All those name callings, I can't even afford to repeat what the Congress leader had made remarked about the President of India. Yes. Just because our President is a tribal lady President. Is it something, a divine right for the Congress to make remarks against the tribal President?
So the opposition has not let the Prime Minister be heard. They have made direct charge against the Speaker for not being balanced. And then now you're suggesting that there was an element of disrespect to the President also. In a way, you have set up for confrontation going forward. You get a sense that this would be very confrontationist Parliament, 18th Parliament.
Yes, okay, we are ready to face any eventuality, but what we want is more cooperation from the parties, especially from the opposition parties, in running the Parliament. We want Parliament to function smoothly. We don't want confrontation. We can debate and discuss. It will go on. Parliamentary democracy is always lively, sometimes noisy. These are acceptable. But to stall the parliamentary proceedings is unacceptable.
My last question. You see, we discussed the pro tem speaker issue, and you said the kind of outreach that was made. On the issue of speaker also, a contest was forced only for the third or fourth time since independence. You think that on the issue of a deputy speaker, for example, in a way, if you look at it, the convention is that the deputy speaker post should go to the opposition. So if that happens, you think that you would be sort of making peace with the opposition if you let them get the deputy speaker's chair?
There's no rule.
Convention,
and there have been practices, but you tell me in any of these UPA people, now Indie group, they have governments in many states. You find out one where they have given deputy speaker's post to opposition party. You tell me one. The Congress government in Telangana, Karnataka, or Aam Aadmi party in Delhi, Punjab, Trinamool Congress in West Bengal. You see where they have given deputy speaker post to the opposition. Go to the Tamil Nadu. Have they given deputy speaker post to opposition? What kind of justification Congress party is giving?
They might say that because in 2014, you, instead of giving the deputy speaker's chair to opposition, gave it to AIADMK, the BJP started it.
What I'm saying is, before making any allegation, the Congress party should see what they have done presently. You pick up any of the Congress ruled states in India and what they have practiced, then they should preach us.
Can we hope that we would have a better parliament session next time?
This time also we had a very nice session for us. We had done all the necessary things which are to be done as per rule, as per system. We concluded the 18th session of Lok Sabha successfully and 264th Rajya Sabha session successfully. Looking forward to budget session now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rijiju, for having this conversation with us. Hopefully, the nation would have a more consensus-driven proceedings in Parliament. We can just hope. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.